Hello, guys, and welcome back to Between the Ropes TV. Now, Ray's still on holiday, but I'm here and trying to bring you as much content as we possibly can. And this is a bit of a different video because, as we all know, KSI is back. He's fighting tomorrow night in two fights at London's O2 Arena against rapper Swarms and young Mexican fighter Luis Pineda. Now, this begs the question for me. Is KSI legitimizing YouTube boxing? Because we all know about the stick that YouTube boxing gets. I'm not here to go over old ground. We all know the benefits and the pitfalls of it. However, what KSI is doing, I'll be honest, when he was fighting Alex Wasabi, I had no interest in it. I really didn't. However, when it got announced that he was going to fight two fights in the same night, that adds a little bit of intrigue to it, and I will now be watching that purely because I'm interested. Don't get me wrong, I'm not watching it expecting to see a boxing clinic, far from it, but I am expecting an entertaining night. And that is the first time for me that we can say that since KSI's last fight in 2019 November against Logan Paul, which obviously, as we all know, had Devin Haney, Billy Joe Saunders on the undercards. So that shows what Jake Paul's done bad for boxing, because I don't think there's ever been a fight, although he's beaten some ex-UFC guys, there's not been a fight that you've thought, oh, this is interesting, personally for me anyway. But what KSI is doing is a genuine challenge. Obviously, he's doing the YouTube bit where they'll get the views, they'll get the younger audience, the social media audience watch in fighting Swarms, who, in fairness, I worry for Swarms because KSI, he's put pictures on his Instagram of the body transformation, if you like, and he's looking in serious shape for this. Swarms is not, however. He's 20 pounds heavier at the weigh-in today, and he's not looking the most athletic, but it's not all about the body. We know that. But, I'd assume KSI did show against Logan Paul that he can fight a little bit, so I'm assuming he'll come through that. But in Pineda later in the night, now, he's 2-5, so he's won a couple, but he has also lost, obviously, as you'd expect. He's never going to get him with a world champion, is he? But Jake Paul is yet to face a boxer, and there was all the talk, obviously, before his postponed fight against Tommy Fury and then Hasim Rahman Jr., about a WBC world ranking coming with that. Well, KSI is actually fighting a boxer. So I think firstly we've got to put a lot of respect on KSI's name because he's not even made a big performance about it. There's been no big promotion around I'm fighting a boxer. It's just I'm going to have two fights in one night. And I like that. KSI, I think he's a classier operator than Jake Paul. Jake Paul talks a lot. And, particularly this year, we're yet to see him actually deliver anything in the ring anyway. KSI is delivering. He's delivering a really entertaining night. Which I think a lot of people I spoke to as well are the same as me, weren't interested, and you now are, and you've also got to respect what KSI is doing. But it sort of begs the question, if he comes through both fights tomorrow, as we expect, obviously providing there's no disasters, I should say, in the first fight, because he has got to be checked over medically before they'll let him fight for the second time for sure, he's got to fight Jake Paul, right? I mean, he's partners now with Logan Paul. They've got, I think it's an energy drink amongst other things. So, that beef they allegedly had is obviously squashed now. But KSI and Jake Paul, it's quite common knowledge. They don't like each other. It's probably could be pantomime as well. But there'd be a lot of money in that fight. There'd be a lot of eyes on that fight. And again, I've got to be honest, it's one I'd probably tune into. And I'm not happy on saying that, but it's true. I would tune into that fight. So is that something that we'll see early into next year? I mean, KSI has also talked about facing Tommy Fury, who is, again, they're probably of a similar experience level. Tommy Fury probably edges KSI because he's had 3 years out the ring doing music and all these other projects. But what it shows for me is that KSI is legitimizing YouTube boxing in the process of, I would say, it's not the finished article, but you've got to respect what he's doing. I'd respect if he fought Jake Paul. I'd respect if he fought Tommy Fury. And, should he come through both of those, which the Tommy Fury, I still say, and I might get criticised, but it's a 50-50 fight. Tommy Fury can't really call himself a professional boxer at this point. Limited amateur experience, limited pro career, and really has only fought some serious journeymen. So it does sort of beg the question, could then KSI have a career in boxing? Which for me, if he comes through tomorrow in entertaining fashion, it does good numbers on DAZN. DAZN are going to want to keep him in the ring, aren't they? Then the Jake Paul fight's massive. A Tommy Fury fight would be massive. They start coming through those. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, okay, this he can fight, and I think he can from what we've seen of him so far. And he's clearly committed to the training with the shape he's in. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Ray's back next week, and I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah, join us on the next one.